Hello YouTube, happy Tuesday. I am Chef Stephanie and I'm here in the kitchen and I'm so excited because today I'm going to be using one of my favorite spices of all time. In fact, it's actually not a spice, it's a spice blend. That's right, and it's called Za'atar. It's a little fancy to say, a little difficult. Someone might think that you're hiccuping. You're not, you're saying Za'atar. So we're making these Zatar chicken and Labneh lettuce cups. So let's talk about this spice blend. I want to show you, and this is a Middle Eastern spice blend, so it's found throughout all of the Middle East. You know, think Lebanon and Morocco, Syria, Israel, Lebanon, all those Middle Eastern countries. And there's a saying that says that, believe it or not, most Zatar recipes are secrets held by the mothers and grandmothers. And oftentimes they don't even share them with their own family members. So if you find a Zatar recipe or a blend that you like, make sure you write it down or make sure you get the recipe from your friend. Now, we're going to be using 4 basic ingredients. There are different versions of Zatar, but I want to show you, this is the Za'atar, and this is what it looks like. So I wonder if anybody's online who can tell me, can you guess what the ingredients of Za'atar are? That's like a rhyme. Za'atar. Okay, one of the main ingredients, and this is something that's really healthy, it's very common, it's what's used to make tahini, and it is sesame. So you want to use toasted sesame. So if you can buy toasted sesame, that's easier, but if you can't, go ahead and toast up your own sesame seeds. Don't burn them because then that will really make the taste go off. Then next we also have salt, very basic there. You know, you can use a fine salt, but I like to use a little bit of a kosher salt. Then we have thyme. Now this is one of the ingredients, so just regular thyme. Sometimes people will swap out, maybe even put in marjoram in there or something else, but I really love that the classic one has this thyme in there, so we're going to be using this for the more classic flavor profile. And last but not least is the ingredient that gives this spice blend a unique color, and it's also probably the most unique spice out of the things that are in this blend, and it's something called sumac. That's right, sumac or sumac. This is a bush. The fruit is actually called a drupe or drupe, D-R-U-P-E, and they're grown in like bushes. They kind of look clumpy, and it has this beautiful reddish, like kind of burgundy-ish color. It's really fantastic, and I do know chefs around the world that literally will never, ever, ever have their kitchen or their restaurant be without this spice. I'll tell you why. It actually has a really tangy, lemony type of flavor. So that's what's really going to create such an amazing balance in this spice blend, because we have salt, we have fat from the sesame seeds, so we have some nice crunch going on there from the toasted sesame seeds. And then of course we're getting some really fun flavors from the thyme, but the sumac is putting in some acid and tang, and it just creates such a fantastic blend that I'll tell you, this is something that is so great, you can put it on anything. A lot of times you'll actually see sumac, you might have seen this in the past and you might have thought that this is actually paprika because it's a similar color. It's a little darker, a little more red, but a lot of times I know in places throughout the world they'll use just sweet paprika as to give a little bit of color. You might have seen that on hummus, but actually when you thought it might have been paprika, it was probably sumac. So where do you find this? In a proper grocery store, it depends upon where you are in the world, but you can absolutely get this here in Greece and in the Mediterranean where it comes from. You can absolutely get this a little easier. Maybe in other parts of the world you will have to special order it. But I promise you it is well worth it. Going back to those chefs I was mentioning, something that they do for every dish, that before a dish goes out of the kitchen, literally the chef will grab just a little pinch of this sumac and boop, pop it on that dish. What that does is that just adds a little bit of brightness, a little bit of punch to any dish. If you've ever taken a picture, you've ever taken a raw picture, we call it, and then put on a filter. Filters sometimes just make things look a little bit more zazzy, make them have a little more pizzazz, and give them a little zhuzh, if you will. That's what sumac does to your mouth and to a dish. It gives it some more zing. So consider getting sumac and adding it to your spice cabinet if you don't have it already. Let's see. Ooh, someone said fresh bread dipped in good olive oil and Zatar is the best. Yes, I do believe that is correct. I would have to agree with that. One of my colleagues, I believe Jessica, said that she loves just olive oil and the Zatar. Outstanding. Yes, a lot of times you can put the Zatar blend, even if you're taking Jessica's baking class, sometimes you can put the Zatar blend just on the top of a bread. Also, you can make focaccia with it. It is stellar. But less. I go on and on about Zatar and sumac and how much I love those things. Consider making it. If you can't make it, look, you can buy Zatar, but 100% it's not going to be as fresh probably as if you make it yourself, and also you can play around with some of the ratios. Oftentimes when you buy it, they stick a lot of salt in there, and so I like to have less salt. In the recipe here, I do have a recipe of how to make the Zatar, so it's not hard, and it will stay in your spice cabinet for, you know, maybe 3 months, 6 months. Don't let it go too long. Okay, so now what are we gonna do with this today? We're actually gonna be using this in the marinade of our chicken, and we're also gonna be putting this in our Lemna. So the Zatar is so fantastic. You've heard me before, I always talk about flavor layering. That's right, So, now these are little chicken nuggets. We get these from Nestle. If you don't have Nestle available, that's fine. You can make your own chicken seitan. If you don't know how to make seitan, come to my level 1 class, come to our vegan cuisine, we teach you how to make it. But you can also buy any type of pre-made vegan protein like chicken. And so these come really nicely in these little tenders. And then all I've done with them is I've tossed them in a little bit of olive oil and Zatar, and a little bit more garlic. Okay, so garlic, Zatar, and olive oil. I marinate that for a couple hours and then I bake them. So then so all of that has been crusted in there. You can see those are the sesame seeds that have attached to our chicken tenders. So those are fine. Now you can make this as a tapa or like a nice little pincho or just a little bite. You can absolutely have these warm or you can have these room temperature. So it's your call how you want to eat these. So they'd be great for a picnic, barbecue, transportable. It's totally your decision. Now, I also have some vegan Labneh cheese here. So what is Labneh? Labneh is just a cheese made from yogurt. It's thickened. Once again, think Middle Eastern. We're in the same part of the world. Go to your geography class, check out the world. Labneh is a cheese very common in the Middle East. And so if you want to learn how to make it, come to my vegan cheese class. Oh, I'm doing lots of plugs today. Yeah, but if you don't know how to make it, then you can go ahead and buy it. Or, once again, come to my cheese class. So all I've done here is I've added to the Labneh. It actually has the consistency, think of thick yogurt, so it's like yogurt but even thicker. And I've just added some Zatar to it and a little bit of lemon and salt. So that has made this fantastic consistency, and we're going to be adding this and putting this in our lettuce cups. Now, for those of you who might have had lettuce cups throughout the world, there are different types of lettuces you can use. I know in certain parts of the world, boo-hoo-hoo, they use like just regular old disgusting iceberg lettuce. You can see by my face, I'm not a fan. Why? Iceberg lettuce doesn't have much flavor, it's just watery, to me, it's kind of gross. But if that's all you can get, that's fine. You can also use radicchio, that's like the purple and white lettuce. So you just want to do your best to get something that looks like a cup and something that's small. So here in Greece, I happen to have this endive or endive, however you want to say it. These do come in like this greenish color, and they have other ones that actually have that purpley kind of radicchio color. Now, I would have preferred those for more color punch, but this is all I can get. So, as we say, it's not what you have in life, it's what you do with what you have. So, this is what I have. All right, so now with these, you can see they're not too big. I want to make these as, I chose to get the smallest ones possible because I'd like these to be bite-sized, and I try to not have too many bites. If you can get them smaller, people can get as much as they can in their mouth, and that's less mess. It's also less waste. So then, let me see, let's bring you down here. I'll show you the rest. I'll show you how to build these up. I'll show you the rest of the ingredients that we have here. Yay, okay, alrighty. Yippity-doo-dah. So I have my endive or endive. We have our chicken strips, remember, chicken nuggets. Also our Lemna that's been mixed with the Zatar. Then I have just some regular old scallions. Of course, if you like, the recipe also calls for you could use some purple onion. You just want to really make sure that you've shaved this really finely because we're going to be eating this raw. So if you don't want big hunks of red onion, it's just too much in your mouth. Even if you're an onion lover like I am, it's just way too much. If you really don't like onions and it's too strong for you, you can put these in water for about 20 minutes or half an hour. It will make the flavor profile a little bit more mellow and subtle of the onion. Also, you can choose to use shallots or shallots. Those are also a little more mild. So, you know, think about what you like and of course use them sparingly. I also have some cilantro cut up, coriander. If you don't, I know some people don't like coriander or cilantro, that's fine. You could absolutely use parsley, even mint. It's your call. You can use, and you can even use some more thyme because where the thyme is dried in our Zatar. And I also have some pickled radish. So this is for some color and also for some texture and a little bit of sweet flavor here. So if you'd like sweeter flavor, you can put some carrots. You can pickle carrots, or you could absolutely use anything even sweeter. You could even use sweet pickles. If you didn't want to pickle them yourself, you could buy sweet pickles. Last but not least, also adding to the Middle Eastern trend here, I have some pomegranate seeds. So these are the pearls, or the arrows actually for the pomegranate. So we're going to use those. Okay, so now I just want to talk to you about how we're going to be building up and a little trick about how you're going to be serving these. Now, the endives that do come, I just cut off the end here. And so this first one, I notice it's a little bit brown. That's kind of yucky. So I always say get rid of that first one, don't use it. And then now you're just going to start pulling these off and seeing which ones you think you might like. Now these are going to roll around, and I'm going to show you a little bit of a secret, a little hack or a technique as to how you can get them to stabilize and not roll around on your plate so that when you're carrying them to the table, they don't roll off and they don't get eaten by the dog. So you just gently cut your endives or endives. When I say that, I feel like my name should be Eve or Sophia or something. What's a French name? I don't know. What's the Frenchiest name? Maybe Brigitte. I should say my name is Brigitte. Okay, so now see how this one's rolling around. Can you see that? Boom, boom, boom. They're not stable. So all you're going to do, here's the little cheat, gang. You just want to cut just a little bit off of the base of each one of these. Not a lot. So literally just a teeny weeny bit. Well, actually, I cut too much off on that one. There you go. So don't worry, that's why you have extra. So just cut a little bit. It's just going to stabilize. All we're trying to do is make that set up. And so I want to show you here. Here's my plate, my new psychedelic plate. See how this one's rolling around? Boom. And see how this one is flat and I have it nice and stabilized. So that's your little hack. All right. So I'm going to do the rest of these. Get yourself a nice plate. These are, as I mentioned, these are really easy to do. You can do these ahead of time. You can do the chicken the night ahead, and then you can just have that have all your parts separate, and then you can just assemble it and then be on the go and off to your party or to the beach or to your picnic. Actually, I think what's coming up is like people are graduating. This could be great for a graduation brunch. If you have somebody who's graduating, maybe if you're getting away from social distancing, you can actually have a graduation party in person. Who knows? These would be nice if you had different colors to alternate. Just have fun. You can mix and match, of course, the fillings as well, but I think this one is so classic. So, you know, going back to the lettuce cups, I know I was saying the ones before, I know it's really popular, especially in the US. I know they have them at like Asian restaurants. They have like lettuce cups, often filled sometimes with tofu, or even they do use vegan chicken and other things. So think of these as the sky's the limit in terms of versatility. This is just something, because I've been on a Middle Eastern kick of late, and I wanted to show everybody about my favorite spice, sumac, and then of course the Zatar. So I'm happy with that. All right, so I'm going to move these over, and now we're just going to build these up. So you just want to get, take one, put a nice serving, a nice scoop, maybe depends upon how large your leaf is. This is about a tablespoon in that one, so it's more or less, it's your call how much you like. If you're, Jess makes fun of me because sometimes I sound like I have a New York accent. If you really like the sauce, that's like my New York accent, sauce. If you like saucy stuff, put extra. And if you like drier things, put less. It's your call. That's the beauty of making things by yourself at home versus ordering it. You can do it exactly the way you want. You're not getting it from somebody else. You can completely customize it to all of your likes and dislikes. And you just want to put that in the bottom of each one. And then, whoops, whoa, flying chicken. You just want to put one of each of the chicken tenders, one or two, depending upon how large your cups are. Just pop these puppies in there. You can break them apart. If you like a lot of chicken, put more. If you like less, put less. No right or wrong. Just some more here. I would say these you can't freeze these when they're done, but again, you can make these in the morning and they would be fine all day. I know sometimes we train a lot of yacht chefs, and one of the questions they always ask us is, can I freeze it? So no, you can't freeze this. Lettuce isn't something that's really great to freeze. But I will let you know, sumac is something that almost every yacht chef knows about, because when they're out in the boats and they're miles and miles or kilometers away from shore and they run out of lemons, guess what they use in their kitchen? That's right, they use sumac when they run out of lemons because it has that citrus flavor. All right, so here we go. Race to the finish, chicken, chicken, chicken. Woohoo. All right, so now all you want to do is continue with all of your other bits. So a little bit of the radish, more or less if you like. This is something that would be great to have the kids do. Get them helping, get them chopping. We do know from research that children are more likely to eat things, whether it's healthy or not, if they had a part in making it. So if you want your kids to eat healthier food, help them chop veggies with you or fruits. That's right, they're more likely to try it. They might not eat the whole thing, but they'll at least try it, I promise you. And they might be a little messy, but they're also more likely in the future to grow up and eat it. So then pop on some of these scallions. Remember, use these sparingly because it is fresh onion. I didn't cook those. Now the pomegranate seeds for even more color. Bada ba boom. Last but not least, we're going to put on some cilantro. Remember, if you hate cilantro, no problem. Go ahead and bang it out with some parsley, mint, coriander. Just kidding, that's cilantro. Haha, I just snuck that in there to see who's paying attention. So you could absolutely, and again, you can use fresh thyme if you like, it's your call. Rosemary would even be nice, a little bit strong, but would be fine. And then come back, and I always, just to highlight and really top it all off, pop some za'atar back there on the top. These are beyond easy and really delicious. So I hope that you will try making some vegan chicken Labneh Zatar lettuce cups for you and your family. Get them this week. Well, no, maybe not this week, but do them this summer. Have fun. And let me know, did you make Zatar yourself? Was this the first time you ever had sumac? And tell me, is it something that you can see dipping into bread and olive oil in your house, maybe putting it in on your next pizza, or even just into a soup or sandwich? Thanks for watching. Remember, check me out every Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern European time. And don't forget, tomorrow, Jessica's going to be here at 10 in the morning, almost always with something sweet, but always with something delicious. Thanks for watching. And make sure, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button below. Bye-bye.